Well, it's time for another. I forgot about that one. My mistake. um, yeah, this day hasn't been a bit much eventful, to be honest. You know, we're really occupied to take care of one particular individual's story, which, um, actually known as Guy, Gasha. Uh, now there are two people actually watching, but I'm not the only one here, though. I have this dude.
Ah, yes, this dude.
And our friendly, I don't know how to say, popsicle. Our friendly pear popsicle.
I was gonna say pear tree. A cypress and a
So,
pear tree. Clearly. Ah,
oh, Brony's also here. Come on. Yeah, I was. I have been really busy to take care of Malachite's story or Cypress story. Um, Currently, I have about maybe 7 minutes left to make of it. But the music is not in the video. Well, um, that's will be the last. I always add the music near the end of every story, though. But since um, since Malachite actually did add it in some, well, let's say he did add some of one of his requests for how he in his story. Well, it particularly when where Ron is here. Particularly where um, his OC, Waterfall Mist, proposed to um, Fluttershy in near the same waterfall where she found him. Well, that detail I did change to the end, since instead for in at the waterfall, I decided to just to make that they have on a boat in a lake at night. Fireflies and he's singing for her and all that. But I did mention that the waterfall that did actually happen around earlier on in the story. But wow, Brony's really um, well. Basically, I just where I did mention that Malachite's OC was attacked by a few timber wolves. Nothing as any deadly serious injuries. Just he were well slight injuries, and he did actually, as a character in the story, he didn't have one particular home. Made it that he had traveled around and that he was immortal. Um, I also made that his parents, since Waterfall Mist is half pony, half wolf. So I made the mother Alicorn and the father the wolf. And I also made that both the parents are deceased, so they're no longer around. And well, I did actually kept all of the information that he did send me. Of course, I always do some smaller changes in the details, but not as much any too drastic changes. Just I may have enter maybe just enter change a small scene in it, or I may just add one of my ideas into the scene to make it a bit longer. And I'll tell you though, he actually had a number of ideas and what was it, 7 kids, and he asked for 22 grandkids. total. That's not is also one of the small things that I change because I didn't know exactly because I did. I mean, I didn't know if he had actually meant had intention to have them to have each to have 5 kids of their own. So I used a calculator just to see how many, just to be in correctly, so I would have the round same amount. So 7 times 5, it gives them about 21 kids. But I mean, this is just I wouldn't have known otherwise. I mean, he said 22 grandkids total and 7 kids, and so I didn't even know how many kids each of those children would have on their own. So that's why I always use the calculator for to give an roughly estimated how much that's gonna be. So yeah, I'm decided to take a break from the story until after the stream, since every time I use StreamYard, for some odd reason, my computer always gets a bit slow. Oh, bye, Brownip. It's just something I think to be worrying about. It's just that. So what you guys been up to otherwise?
Not much.
Except for the IQ test.
Yep.
So how did that go?
I think I did well, but like I told you on Discord, I'm getting the results in a couple weeks. So
Well, was there like you had to answer some questions or like do it solve some puzzles or anything or just
yeah,
or just
a couple puzzles, like a couple like block puzzles I had to do, like designs and stuff with them.
Hmm.
I had to tell her like the descriptions of a couple words, stuff like that.
I mean, I even told my dad about it, and well, he didn't say much. And I told him that I had never even had. I mean, I had never done any IQ tested myself, and even though when I was just only around 2 years old, I was actually being told by I think it was a nurse or a doctor, or was it some former psychologist, I believe, or something like that. I think it was at least a doctor who told my parents that I won't be able to walk, walk, read, anything. And that's 30 years later. I'm here talking, can talk, walk around. Hey, I can't even go. I can't even. I don't know. I can't even read language that I didn't even know it first from originally. And if I could even talk or anything or even write, I would have even been here right at the moment. And that's just one of the odd things. I know that you can actually do go take some IQ test, but not necessarily because well, like you did, but for any particular reasons. Like there are those organizations like Mensa you can go to see how smart you are. And I don't know exactly, but okay, the organization itself isn't even that old. It hasn't even been around for maybe just 100 years or so. So I do believe that Albert Einstein, among things, it was a member of that organization. And I do think maybe one of the actors, I think John Travolta, I can't say for certain, but I know, but at least Albert Einstein is a possibility that he was part of the organization. But of course, it if you would have to be a member, it requires that you would need to have a certain amount of IQ, I believe. And honestly, I don't know how much it requires, but um, if I would say maybe 150 or something like that, but I can't say for certain. And one thing I didn't, I mean, I knew about Albert Einstein, that he was one of the smartest people on Earth during his time. After he died, his brain was actually donated to some sort of research, and they sliced his brain into slices. The reason was they did that is because to study the neurons, understand why he was so bright in his mind. I mean, considering how other people throughout history, like Isaac Newton, he was the one who discovered of the gravity itself, or Johannes Kepler or Copernicus Kepler, like those astronomers. They were really, really bright. They were bright at their times. Kepler or Copernicus, I think he was a Polish astronomer. He lived around the 1400s. Like him and many others, they were actually prosecuted by the church, despite their beliefs and their discoveries, even including Galileo Galilei, who discovered Jupiter's moons and the rings and the great spot. He presented all of his information about that Earth was not the center of the galaxy, like many previous before him had believed. He could have been executed on the stake for heresy, but he didn't. He then withdrew his claims, and but he ended up in house arrest the rest of his life. But many other people throughout history had always been smart. And you probably know about this in Scientology Church. Scientology?
No.
You hadn't even heard of? Okay, this is an supposed some form of religion organization that was founded by an author.
Well, I'm not religious, so there you go.
No, I don't. Scientology. Here we go. Scientology Church was established by American author L. Ron Hubbard. His belief is that, well, basically is where he believed an ancient form of species had some form of alien master had captured some colored beings and thrown them on Earth, and where he end up. John Travolta is among people that's actually a member of this organization, but a lot of people outside have actually called this as a cult. And there is, I don't know if it is an actual cult or not, but many people saying this is a cult, how they brainwash their members. And even because they even have open to anyone to join their church. I heard one particular story about this. This teenager, he was actually around 17 or 18. He was quite depressed, and he didn't know what he wanted to do in his life after high school. He didn't know if he wanted to join the Navy, Army, or the Air Force, or one. He didn't know what to do. So one day, he actually had been to all the places and applied for those, and he saw this application for Scientology Church to see the personality test. And basically, he went in there and he was first shown this video, like a small movie. This was like, the first to just imagine like just a normal room with like a screen on the wall, but it wasn't. According to this story, according to this person, there was like an actual movie theater, like an actual where you go to see the actual movies. The room was like that. The movie was about half an hour. After that, he took a test it took maybe 2 hours or something like that. There was like 500 questions. Then he gave them his email and he went home. He was actually given a CD and a book about this church. And he started believing that that his parents was suppressing him down, like preventing him from express his true potential. So he called out to this church and they promised to help him. But his parents started to seeing how different he were because he started calling bad names, especially his own mother. But eventually, his parents intervene, had an intervention for him, and he admit that he had been depressed. He can always come to them and talk about it, and eventually he came to realize what he was doing it was wrong because during this time, just before they had this intervention, his parents actually found the book and the CD, and they weren't like angry or anything against him. They just wanted to know what is happening in their teenager son's life. Because before all this happened, he was always being polite to his parents. But after he went to this Scientology church, he's completely changed. He was completely rude to his parents, calling them such bad names, especially to his own mother. But then he emailed this guy, I think he was called Mike, at this place. Well, um, he was trying to convince this teenager that he hoped that they were holding him hostage or something by his own choice. But despite that, he told Mike that he didn't want to have nothing to do with the Scientology Church ever again. But despite that, he continued to get the received an email from this guy from the Scientology Church for weeks, months, and he blocked eventually that email. But it came on multiple new ones, and even after all this happened, he still received more and more emails. It's weird, but it's going to show you that some people can easily be brainwashed, and some, but not everyone. Not I'm not saying that the Scientology Church is like a cult or not. It's just I don't know. I only been saying this that some people referring it as a cult because some members or former members had been pulled out from the church by other friends or family, or some left their own choice because they felt they were in a cult. But eventually, he was no longer there. So if you wanted to go as part of a Scientology church, well, that's up to your choice. Or if you want to be part of Mensa, this intelligence group of intelligent people, well, that's actually more safer because I only heard positive things of this intelligence group called Mensa. I mean, if Albert Einstein was part of that group, I believe at least, and think about it, if there are tons of other important people that some the most brightest mind, like who knows, maybe even Steve Jobs, the one who invented apples, he could have been a member of that. And but then, but there's also one organization that's way older, both Mensa and the Scientology Church. This particular organization is about 600 years old. It's called the Freemasons. They declare themselves as descendants of the Knights Templar, another military organization during the medieval times. But well, okay, the Freemasons are, well, they're like in the hands of the name masonry, like stoneworks. They're experts in that. But here's what the thing is: there are some weird rituals for those people who want to be part of this organization. It's like some of them are saying that they're quite bizarre. And you may think, is it only for those Christians? No, because people in this organization that has people that's Muslims, Buddhists, and even Hindus. I even believe maybe those who is atheist. and I think there's around maybe 6 or even 10 million members. I think the numbers is more, and they only take in 2 new members each time, and they give the lowest rank, which is Saint Johannes Apprentice, but the highest rank, which is Grand Master. I can say this that where Cypress lives in Michigan, there is a Freemason organization which has its own lodge, which is called. The Freemason actually has its origins from England. I can say this. My girlfriend's father, well, late father, he was actually a member of the Freemasons. And he actually was, he was actually, before he passed away in 2019, he actually held the title Grand Master. He was the highest member in the Freemasonry in Michigan. And I only assume that at first I believe maybe that being a grandmaster, you're only like that for only that you can. I do believe they can only have one grandmaster at a time, or that someone else can rise the ranks or something, or if they could. It is only that you can only be a grandmaster for a certain time or length of time, maybe for a few years. But it turned out you can actually be the grandmaster as long as you live. And here's one of the things: if you would be a member of the Freemasons, you can't be telling other people about what happens in there because it's secret, like the meetings and all that. But if you say if you do mention to friends and family that you are now a member of the organization, I think that sort is okay. I mean, since this is actually, well, it's acceptable to, since one of the most prominent symbols of the Freemasons is the all-seeing eye, which they adopted from the Egyptian mythology. And in fact, that symbol is present on the dollar bill, with the pyramid with this eye on it. But there is another organization that you may have heard of, the Illuminati.
Yes, them.
Yeah. And some people believe that they actually are the ones who's behind the world's governments, like the ones that actually controlling the world, but in the dark, in the hidden. So let's say if, even despite you have one leader, a president that's elected by the people, he is not the one who's actually ruling the country, but they would actually be in the Illuminati. They actually want to actually pull the strings, leading the whole world. But the fact is, many people don't even believe that this particular organization or the secret society of Illuminati didn't exist. Actually, they don't. Not anymore, at least. They used to exist, but they only lasted for about just 11 years. They were actually invented by a man from Bayern, Germany, during the late 1700s. But it only lasted for just 11 years. But ever since then, people around the world had been made some conspiracy theorists that the Illuminati still existed, and that they are actually ones ruling the world. Like, they are the ones who actually could perhaps they could not be being the one who actually was behind the assassinations of Lincoln, John F. Kennedy. But I'm just saying it's impossible. Nothing about that's impossible, because Illuminati doesn't even exist anymore. But people still believe that they do. So I mean, there's another things like people don't believe that the moon landing happened. Like they don't believe that they believe some theorists believe that they were recorded in a studio. And honestly, that's I don't believe it. I actually believe that we did land on the moon, and we're actually going back to the moon since NASA is planning to go send another moon back there on sometimes by the end of this decade, around 2020s, and hopefully having a base there on 2030, which will be how say the step forward out to the further in a system like Mars or who knows. But if there are some secret organization out there, well, I don't say that it's impossible. I mean, some societies like the Freemasons, they're well known, but they do have some secret rituals that's not even they even have they even have secrets that the most common general public doesn't even know about. And in fact, even during the Crusades times around the 1100s, there were even one organization called the Assassins. They literally killed thousands of people. And in India during the 1700s, there was this fox they called. They literally suffocated their victims, killed them. They by the end of the end, but sometimes in 1800s when that entire society or cult was extinct or became wiped out, they had killed around 50,000 people during the time. Think about it. There are organizations like even you probably heard about the triads in Japan. Have you?
Yeah.
They were actually originally started or founded by a Chinese. Oh, wait, not but not Japan. It was actually China. There was actually a Chinese general. He wanted to restore the Han Dynasty once again, but that never happened. And during the modern times, they had reorganized themselves into criminal organized crime. It's like there's like the yakuza, Japanese mafia. They are the ones people that you don't want to mess around with. Believe me. And this is probably that an uncommon story, a story that most people don't probably do not know. That even the Italian mafia during the 1930s did actually help the navy protecting the country. In exchange for that, because they approached the leader while he was in jail, offered to ask for his gang for help, and he approved. So his man was helping the American government in order that he was actually allowed to leave the country when he was his sentence finished. And he actually returned home to Italy. But when he died, he wished to be returned his body to be buried in America, which were approved. But this is not the first time the US government is actually asking someone who was considered as a criminal. You see, back in the 1700s, around 1800s, I believe, around New Orleans, this man, John Lafayette, he was a pirate. He was approached by, I believe it was a representative from Andrew Jackson. He had asked this pirate for help during the fight against the British. And even the British has also sent their representatives to him to ask for his help. And of course, if he did have helped the Americans during the war, he would have been given all of his past crimes would have been wiped clean. His past criminal activities would have been wiped clean from his record. And after that, he did help them. 12 of his 13 fleet ship was burned due to the fact that part of the deal. They allowed him to keep one ship where he left. And no one knows what actually happened to him either after that. No one knows when he died. Some people believe that he lived another to around early 1800s. Or if he died or anything. It's like Edward Teeks, or also known as Blackbeard. He buried a lot of treasures around in Americas. And people don't know this, but after some people do believe that he had buried one of his biggest and last treasures before he was captured. And people haven't claimed that had they found it or not. Two fishermen claimed that they actually found two large cast iron cauldrons filled with coins. But here's the thing. One of the fishermen died eventually, but the other one, he couldn't even actually he couldn't return back and claim those treasure because that area was flooded. So he couldn't even remember exactly precise where those cauldrons was located. And around when also another time they actually found Queen Anne's Revenge, his flagship. Well, some people do believe that they actually found it, but I do believe that it is actually his ship. So that ship is actually located on the near North Carolina coast. But sadly, no treasure on board. There were actually one story. I actually read in a book that I have where a bomb plane, was forced to drop a bomb, a nuclear bomb, outside the America's coastline. I think it was near North Carolina's coast. And if the bomb, but here's the small problem that the bomb has never been found. So if the bomb is still there, if something would happen, it would blow up. I don't know if it's the same type of bomb which they used around in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that type of bomb. But according to some official records, well, according to this, the bomb has been disarmed, so it is no longer explosive. But it does still contain some of its, explosive contents. I think at least on that. So, people who live there, that's but I don't think so. Hey, Cypress, are you still alive or not?
I might be busy with some.
Popsicle, are you still alive or not?
Nope, he's dead.
You wish.
I don't wish you were dead, actually. So,
have you guys seen? Have you guys seen Elliot and Bog before?
no.
This animated in a CGI movie where a bear named Elliot and a deer named Bog or something. I think they actually made three movies about it. Holy wow, you missed out a lot. Well, I did post that on Discord. Like I said, holy bananas, a beaver with a chainsaw.
It's from that.
Yeah. They were actually fighting against a group of hunters. I mean, I haven't seen all the movies, so I've probably seen the first one. I mean, it's really some strange movies out there to these days. Especially, um, Frozen 3 has been confirmed to be is gonna be made. But honestly, though, I doubt it is gonna be this year. More likely than next year. And oh, I mean, come on. A lot of other movies for the past 5 or 6 years or so, with like Aladdin, Beauty and Beast, uh, what was it else? Lady and Tramp, and this year it's gonna be Little Mermaid as live action. Oh, about that, I found out there's gonna be a whole new character in the Little Mermaid, Queen Serena or Selena, which is a whole new character. And from what I understand, even from I read, even Prince Eric is going to have his own scene where he's actually going to sing. And another plot twist. You probably know that the names of the. You probably heard that Ariel's sisters has names, but in the
Right.
new movie, yeah, they actually have. She has about I think total 6 sisters, and she is the youngest of all of them. But here's the plot twist: in the new movie that's going to happen, they have changed their names. Every single one of them, their names ends with the letter A, except Ariel. I'm just like, what? And I mean, the live action movies that has been made, oh boy. Well, I just it's completely ruined almost of all that. But honestly, I can understand why Disney wanted to do this. I mean, considering they probably are focused in live actions for the new younger generations, and back when Walt Disney was still owner of the company and he had the final decisions or the final word in the productions, he probably were the same one who said what is going to happen or not. Or even now these days, Turning Red, there were actually one scene between the girl who became this giant panda and one of her friends was supposed to be a couple originally, but that was scrapped out in the script. And if you have seen the movie Onwards with those troll brothers, one of the female characters was actually dating another female, but that was well, let's say that was when that movie was released. I believe it was some around the Arabic Middle East. That movie was completely banned due to the fact that they mentioned a woman is dating another woman. And so, yeah, well, basically, though, well, throughout the entire our childhood, when we were growing up watching the classical movies from the 30s up to like the 70s and 90s, every single thing is mentioned of same gender relationship was considering as taboo. Even in the original Sailor Moon, four of those supposed uh, knights that was serving Queen Britannia, or was her name? Actually, they were supposed to be as two guys in a relationship, but they changed one of the characters to a female instead. There were only a few countries in the world that actually made series that was focused on same gender relationships. Back then, it was unlikely that was even considered to be acceptable. But now these days it is. I mean, what if they actually made, let's say, what if they actually made, say, Bambi, that he doesn't fall in love with the doe, the female friend, that he's actually fell in love with another buck or another male character. or someone like that. It's it's just a saying how things over in the movie industry have changed over years, and that's something I can understand though. But considering how much of the live action movies which totally sucks, but some live action shows, like say The Mandalorian, for example, it is actually something I could accept. What the? Was this one? Man. First at the moment I thought someone was shooting outside. What? It was just a small rocket or something. I don't know. Cypress, have you ever tried Mojito?
What?
Have you ever tried Mojito? Mojito, or how you pronounce it? Mojito.
What is that?
Hang on. There we go.
I have never had one.
Well, I have, well, not the actual drink, but more as a energy drink with the flavor. It's kind of tastes like mint, since that drink is supposedly an alcoholic one.
Great.
Well, at least, but I had never tried it. Than an actual drink, but the energy drinks with the flavor of it, at least it's safer. So, what you been up to, those Cypress?
Nothing much. And I heard you talk about the changes, your changes that you did to the story. First off, I wasn't, and when I was talking about the proposal bit to Fluttershy, I wasn't mean like the waterfall near her cottage. I meant like if he had found some nice little waterfall spot that he enjoyed going to sometimes.
Oh, well, my mistake.
Yeah, that was yeah. I I wasn't trying to confuse it with the waterfall near her cottage and such. But
Well,
the
that makes
total
sense.
idea sounds pretty good. I mean, I never thought of that particularly. Only for their daughter that I thought of as like
Yeah,
a
I mean, those ideas
like
will remain as possible. I mean, the scene of Fluttershy and Waterfall Mist, where he proposed to her, it's actually was some like when Prince Eric and Ariel won the song "I Kiss You," and he even has a guitar when he plays to her um, as a song that he wrote. And I can say that this score was actually his best man in that part of the story, and he made Fluttershy immortal since Waterfall is immortal. Oh boy. I mean, I have been since you know that list. Your story was the was it's just supposed to be uploaded on the April 16, and Deanna asked to me to make me a story for her. Well, she didn't ask me. I asked her if she wanted one. And since her birthday is apparently March 30th, not the 28th, as I suspect it was first believed, but and I was like, that is like less than a week, and I didn't know first if she wanted to text the music or not, but she wanted it audio, so I took care of that a few days ago. So, um, I also have one small things I'd like to mention. You guys are probably aware that I have only made like um, my quest for the cryptids that I
Yeah.
had to
Mm-hmm.
that I had made. That two of them was 120 questions, and the last one was 102. Well, not anymore. Not three, Chris. Total 8. But each one is not even 100. All of those are only 74. I decided like 120 was probably a little bit too much. I think 100 or 105 is probably the max I can go with. And I also changed the rules of standard. The number of questions would be between um, 81 or 95, because this will be the standard. But if anyone was like, if like say, if Cypress wanted to make another space quiz after 105 or 102 questions, that's fine. But it can't be more than that. And I do tell you, when I actually looked how many questions I had total, but all the cryptids, um, well, uh, if I had put all the questions in one single document, it would have been giving me 592 total.
I was probably gonna guess around 700.
Well, almost 600. But I decided not to do that since, I mean, okay, if I had to put almost 600 questions, the stream of the Self Game Show stream will be really long, and I doubt most of our viewers even would even stick along that long. I mean, you're probably gonna get like probably how far is what number are we on right now? That like number 300, and you were like game gonna ask like how many questions are like how total 600, and we are like 300.
And
So you were
you hear
like,
one of us,
yeah, so but
and you hear one of us, and you hear one of us.
hmm?
Space, you're cutting out there.
Yeah, I mean
You're
he will like
cutting out on my end.
um well if game guy would still ask me would like how many questions are left another 300, he'd be like dear lord or something like that or something, or even Roy if he was there he'd be like for fuck's sake. Yeah, and since normally those quests takes maybe about 2 hours, if I had done 600, yeah, it's let's say it would be like well, I would say maybe 6 or 8 hours, or past even 10. It depends how long it also depends on how all of you will even like have enough energy for even to hold that. So I mean, at first I decided to we considered should I do 81 of all the 8 cryptid quests. But I went through as many different cryptids that I hadn't even done before. There were a few lake monsters, but some of us actually had been confirmed to just have been as a hoax. Like one was actually supposed to be a dog alligator mix. Oh, that reminds me. There was supposed to be one cryptid in America, body of a dingo with a head of of a crocodile. But I didn't even add that in as a question because to me that sounds really not possible. And then some of the questions like, what about if someone had to put out, what about the unicorns? Well, I would say they are not even considered cryptids. They are considered as fable characters. But then on this website that I did found the most of the cryptids, there were one of those creatures that was included some called fearsome critters, meaning there were stories that had been told by farmers or lumberjacks. Like there were like one creature that looked like a cat. Its head and its tail, by the end of it, it looked to be almost like it was watering the plants with its own tail. How would you even explain that as a cryptid? Which, no, I wouldn't even done that. I mean, then I did find a lot of different cryptids that there were a few that I didn't add in, like with some. I mean, I did find a few lake monsters from like Siberia, Europe, but I didn't even add any of those because there were no mentioning like description of how this creature even looked like in length, or if it's like a serpent, or if there was like a dinosaur like Nessie, or there wasn't like mentioned what year this was found or it's been seen originally. And like you pointed out, the Cypress, that so I mean, if one had put since if I mentioned one of the cryptids in one crypt quiz, like say when it was the first seen and once in the last sighting, I actually added in many of the questions. But here's another of those. Some of the questions that said only said like first sightings unknown or the last sighting unknown. Um, there were one I was not considered being using, goat man, meaning a half man, half goat, since those has been considered seen since I think it was around 200 BC. But I did actually add some of them, those type of creatures, and um, I should mention this. There are a lot of Bigfoot creatures, cryptids, and a few others. I was also wondering if there was any cryptids like from Indonesia, and in fact, I did find some. Which, to be honest, not surprising if there were any. But if anyone like asking, what about giants? Were they even considered as cryptids? What do you think,
I
guys?
mean, hmm.
I
I
mean,
don't
do you,
know.
Cypress? What do you think? Do you consider giants as cryptids?
And that's something of folklore.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Paul Bunyan. He
Even
was a
though,
giant. He's an American folklore hero.
um,
Ghost.
no, I really wouldn't even considering them as cryptid itself. I mean, they're supposed to be supposed to be a giant that lives in Canada. That's supposed to be man-eating giant. I think also they're supposed to be like 14 or 15 feet tall or something, and also supposed to be seen around in the northern part of Canada, America, like uh, Washington State, along the border, like the border of that. Uh, yeah, it's just there was so many different creatures. I don't tell you there was just tons, but some of them didn't make sense, and some of them I didn't add in since well some of it doesn't have, like I mentioned, I prefer to have some information about the creature that has like when it was first seen or when it was last seen, or especially how if there's like a humanoid creature, if there's any mention of how tall it is, or if it has any descriptions of it. I mean, it's just that I really had to have some descriptions of one particular creature, like the Mothman. he is well known over that, or Bigfoot, or Yeti. There has been always been recognized as many stories about. I mean, and it's all like, what about the Kraken? Well, that's one creature I can't use, despite has been had been part of the mythology in Scandinavian mythology for centuries. But if you go in from different sources, like if you go to Norway, or if you go to Ireland, or even United Kingdom, they can actually have different sides of description of it. I mean, it's very much identical as a giant squid, but it can be versus a description of how, like, say, how long it's supposed to be. I mean, what if one source says that it's supposed to be just almost 500 feet long, or if it's one says, oh, it's supposed to be 800 feet long, or one is supposed to be, I don't know, it's like maybe 10 miles long. There is no way I can even add that as the cryptid. Even if at first I was just considering just doing 120 questions and focus on others, but since I really much enjoyed my two first cryptid questions, especially the one that Dylan was part of when that all seas. I mean, it was fun though. So I decided to make at least 8 more those. But even if I would find more cryptids so that I could use, probably I would add into more to perhaps make 81 of each. But there is a lot of those I might possibly add more. It just, I don't know. I also have been worked on at least the new Pokemon quiz. But so far, only I think about 3 or 4 new questions so far. I really haven't focused on it since your story takes priority apparently. Right, that since the story almost done, so no worries. So total, I have around 28 quiz. So next week, on next Friday, will be about Scottish history, and on Saturday, April 1st, will be about backrooms, and that makes that Game Guy and Roy will be the co-host and co-host of that one. And if you want to be another host for another game show stream, Cypress, you're always welcome to do that. But there are, of course, all I need is you to tell me at least a little bit in advance, just in case, like at least knowing to tell me what type of topic it is, so I can put the name. Otherwise, like Game Show Stream 20 question mark and oh, that reminds me. And as we all can agreed on, Kuvu cannot be a host for one of my game show streams. Not because I'm against that. No, it's not that. It's because, as we all know, how he liked it 2 times when he was a teammate with Roy, when he is supposed. Oh, by the way, I had to go training, and that's in half an hour training, and where he has to do eating.
More like
especially
2
when he
hours.
Yeah, and if he was supposed to be the host, and suddenly he can't just. And oh, by the way, I had to go, and he's gone for half an hour, and that can't not been allowed. So I can't allow Kuvu to be the host of a game show stream, because if he goes or if he leaves for only a few minutes, like 5 minutes to use the bathroom or something, that's fine. But if he had to be gone for half an hour, no, that's not acceptable. Or if Game Guy would have to leave, and that if he had Roy as a co-host, that works. At least one of the hosts is still there. Or if it's opposite, if Roy had to go for do something, that's fine. But at least Kubo can't be, as long as that he doesn't, until he lives on his own. because we can't have one host and then suddenly, oh, by the way, I had to go for the training for half an hour. And what are we supposed to be doing? Just sit and wait and talk? And what kind of is a host is that?
I mean, have a
I mean,
backup plan.
exactly.
I mean,
So,
at least have a backup plan.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that he isn't allowed. He is, but inconvenience is not good idea because, like I mentioned, when he goes training for half an hour, or is supposed to be eating, like that's like almost an hour, and first and half an hour training, and then he goes back and he's here for another half an hour or maybe in 45 minutes, and like then he's supposed to be eating, and that's I don't know, maybe another 20 minutes or so, depends on what he's been eating. And that's I can say that even Game Guy can agree on that. He can't be the host until that's if he has his own place. Because if he is AFK for half an hour to almost an hour, that is not acceptable. Do you think that?
Yeah.
I mean, if Kuba had a friend, if he had someone with him as a host, less. Unless he was the host, but if I don't say Cyphers or even Game Guy was his co-host, and that he had the same copy of those questions, and that co-host could continue the questions while he is AFK. I mean, that could also work, but it just for now, Kubo is not going to be let to be as the host, and even if Kubo probably seeing this afterwards, so this series is over and he listen to that. So I would say this, Kubo, you are still allowed to be as a host, but at the moment you can't because you had to leave like one or two times middle of the stream, and it's not acceptable unless you have a co-host. But if you're the single host, it's not gonna work because you can't leave every player for half an hour to almost an hour, just hesitating, waiting and waiting and waiting, and after a while, maybe they're just like, "Oh, screw it, I don't want to play anymore." I mean, that is one thing I can't accept, though, or not accept that he can't just poof on like that. I mean, if Brony wanted to be a player or the host for one of the game show streams, that's actually acceptable because, but or if Deanna wanted, at least her mic is working again. If she wanted to be the host for one of my game show streams, that's fine. But like I said, she had to. Anyone who wants to be that, they had to tell me at least an advance, like say, perhaps the day before, or even tell me at the time, um, maybe during the current game show stream, that they want to be the next host. Because I don't mind let anyone else to be a host. Oh, what if? Okay, like a big if. Since the next week's of Friday is going to be Scottish history, what if we let Lord to be the host? How about that?
Go for it. Go for
Do
it.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I I can't ask him about it since, but like I said right now, it's not guaranteed it's gonna work, but doesn't even hurt to ask him since he said
I
it's
ain't taking
possible.
I ain't taking no for an answer. He'd be a good host.
Yeah, but it's possible. He said it's possible that he might be able to join in that on Friday. And also should mention one thing. This is actually so far the only time I had done two game show streams almost right after each other. I don't think this is not gonna repeat. I don't mind, but it only one the thing that's most important is I must I must have enough time. I must have enough time to be doing it. Otherwise, if I only like say just 6 hours left at one time, and if we want to suppose to be another one, or even make a third game from stream. Like, that's not possible. I only do those on a Friday or a Saturday, not before. Um, I mean, game from streams were something that I just really was. That was originally was just an idea. After the two first times failed, I was thinking it just cancel it all together. I don't even remember what the first was actually still there, but the second one was actually the only failure was about what was it? All right, but Mario. We weren't even halfway through this game show stream at all, so that was like a screw up. But be honest, they were just most about the games. So yeah, and I actually did a playlist on my channel that if anyone else wants to watch them in order, you can actually do that. But I should mention latest when I did make the playlist. Oh boy, when I put all the past games from streams in it, they didn't end up in order. Like it was number 1, number 5, number 14, number 6, number 2, number 8. So I was like scrambled. So I deleted the content except for one video, a little stream, and re-added them one by one. So now they're from 1 to 15, I believe. Was it 16? I don't know. I made so many of those. So yeah. So after Malachi story is done, I will try to focus on trying to adapt it to. I think I will add just the bins, just in case here. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, here we go. Nope. MLP question is. Give me a second. Nope. That one is not needed. But the only one is that it's going to be put in the question is just the Pokemon ones. Okay. Cypress. Have you what is your knowledge when it comes to Halo, the game series?
Zip.
Okay. I had to ask both of you. Packers actually asked me if I could do a love story. One was about Sonic and Fluttershy, which I don't see any wrong with that since I've done a few others before, so that's acceptable. But the second one he asked was Master Chief from Halo with Twilight. So as a human, and as a pony, no. That's
No,
bit.
because I
That's
remember you saying a few times in your update videos that you had a few copyrights against Halo love stories that I think this guy Travis Bell asked you to do.
mhm.
So
Well, I
mean-
mean, you could do the Equestria Girls Twilight, but
Yeah, or I could make them as him as a pony form, but you have a good point, a game guy. Good point. Because he didn't Packers fans didn't even precise if he didn't actually mean precisely if he meant the pony Twilight or human Twilight. So you actually had a good point. So I believe I can do Twilight and Master Chief, but as humans. It's just I wasn't really sure. Oh, I actually found Master Chief as a pony. Let me see if I can upload it here. Come on. Here we go. This was the one I found on Master Chief as a pony. Come on. Here we go. This is Master Chief as a pony.
Hmm.
But I think I will go with your idea of game guy. That's as both as human, since human and a pony is, well, considering is not a good thing to be in combinate. Well, since I kind of did Twilight with Optimus Prime, but one of the small things is he's a robot and not a human. So, and he is an inorganic life form. She is an organic life form. So, yeah, I think that's more acceptable. Since, but yeah, I think I can go with your idea since that seems more reasonable. Um, I remember Brony asked me to do one particular love story of one of his favorite characters that uh, girls that was actually either planes or ships. Um, yeah, honestly, that was
What's going on?
since that anime was well, was a complete new to me. But I mean, I'm not saying that I wasn't like against the idea from originally, since I wasn't much. I didn't even know what that anime was about. But and after I looked it up, it well, it didn't fill the qualifications to be considered as a love story or true friend story, since it was kind of odd. But that that anime kind of did remind me of one other. Okay, this might surprise you though. Um, I saw this anime, well, not entirely of it, but some of it a few years ago. This was this high school in Japan of school of girls, but they weren't actually girls. They were actually weapons. Training in high school to be perfected as being perfect weapons used in battles. I was like, what? Okay, that is. It's a little bit really. Some people say weird, odd, or creepy, but I would say more as different approach or different concept of anime. There is one anime that I recently heard. What's it called? Rent a girlfriend, meaning that you can rent a girl to be your girlfriend. I was like, what? Who was even to rent a girl to be so dating for? I mean, would you pay a girl to be supposed to be your girl? Uh, nope. And I know for sure what Cypress would say. He would say, no. So, and um, I just the concept of that was not good. That kind of reminds me. I think that I will do a quiz of anime, but that will be. But I've had to figure out if I used to focus on one singular anime or just put it
I
random.
might sit that one out.
Yeah, I don't know yet though.
I don't. I know less about anime than I do about Pokemon. So
True. I mean, well, since Mario, which is not the American version, it's just Japanese, that were considered as an anime.
not
Kind of. I mean, it's not like,
really. I mean, it's not.
well, no, true, but it's, I mean, if like, or Sonic, which is also Japanese, and that part of it is would have considered as just as some form of anime, I wouldn't know.
Mm.
Or My Hero Academia, which is an anime. I yeah, I didn't like that series much. Its concept was a bit weird. I mean, suddenly people around the world suddenly one night has superpowers, well, like strange superpowers. That I mean, the concept was very much like X Men. I mean, X Men was when suddenly the next step of evolution of humans start to form. Um, so yeah, that's no.
Mm.
I thought maybe do a Marvel quiz, perhaps even like that. But I really haven't thought about it. And if I would do Sonic the Hedgehog as a quiz, all I can say is they will not be just focused about the games. It would be like TV shows, the movies, and all that kind of things. Like put at random. If I just only focus on games of every single question, like well, that will be a little too simple. So I will try to figure out some good ones. I mean, I did make one of I don't know. I mean, I had done so many over these past year or so, like um, like say Star Wars, Star Trek, the Avatar. Not that there was a blue aliens, but well, I mean, I can always do something. I mean, I have made one about movies. And that is well, actually involves uh different genre from horror to uh, thriller, cartoons, you name it, like even live actions.
Mm.
But at the moment, there are so many ideas of questions or quiz that I could do. I mean, if I would do some, let's say, I don't know, Indonesian history, because to be honest, I don't know a single thing about Indonesian history. And not that being saying it as being rude to Broido, it's just how often do you read about one other country's history? I mean, I know it's but be fair, I don't know not all about my own country's history. I mean, I don't even know all the things about American history. I only probably know about a fraction of its entire history. And despite how much I read and how much I do even remember of all that, not much. So yeah, but I think having the next week about Scottish history and what was it? The backrooms. Well, the backrooms were, especially in the first time when we had it. I did mention that I didn't know anything about it, and I actually let Game Guy and Roy, well, especially Game Guy, to explain what it was about, since he was the one that actually made most some of the questions, and I made some of them. I mean, if anyone actually are doing questions and even ask me for help, or if they want me to be their co-host, well, I could. I don't mind that. I mean, I can always be someone's co-host as well. I don't mind. Say, for example, if Gaming Guy wanted to do something and Roy was supposed to be his co-host, but he is I don't know, probably was at a gym or he was either out with his dad or something, and he asked me to be the co-host for it. I was like, well, sure, hop in. But then another thing is, he would have to give me the list of those questions, and uh, and we would have to figure out who would read the even numbers or the odd numbers. And I don't mind that, but at least things like that have to be taken care of a little bit before the actual stream happens, like say a day before. By the way, are you even available next Saturday, Cypress?
I don't know.
Um, are you available for tomorrow?
Again, I don't know.
Wow. Are you guys good at any jokes?
That depends.
Well, any actually.
No.
Well, one thing is your face is a joke. I mean, the profile. Just joking. Because I actually heard two Swedish jokes that's. All right. You know what's dirty, white, puffy, and it has four legs and a hose at the end, one end?
Mm.
What do you think, Suppers?
Oh, that's a Shih Tzu.
Nope.
Um,
Well, the answer is, well, it's a goose dressed as an elephant.
does he work for peanuts?
Okay, do you know why ghosts are white?
No.
No.
Well, it's to distinguish them from the blueberries. I know,
Boo.
bad jokes. I know. It just it's just so terrible jokes, but it's not funny for me though. Oh man.
He's Swedish.
Hmm?
I know you might think I know you might think this joke might be terrible or so, but how do you know when Kovu might make a good scarecrow?
His appearance.
When he's outstanding in his field.
Oh, that was so
Cons.
that is so bad, but it's it's so good. It's so bad. Oh man.
I based that off of a I based that one off of a dad joke I found one time.
Well, that comes from you, green popsicle.
I am not a popsicle, you polar bear.
Hey, I better be a polar bear because at least I can hold it cold. Popsicle. Phew.
Speaking of which, have you talked to Polarizer since what happened last time?
No, actually, I haven't. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if he meant to say something else instead of that one word, but he could have done a misspelling or wasn't thinking straight. Like
probably.
accidental.
Probably. I mean, he's online right now, but you know, even at the time when I gave him that OC made him for him, he had even said nothing about it whatsoever, even afterwards. I mean, Polarizer himself can be, I would say, eccentric character, especially with the jazz hands and drinking Pepsi all the time. And the only ones that haven't been around much in my streams is Cody, the Darkhawk. And honestly, I haven't even seen him much at all, or even on Discord. Even when he's online, he's always in the I'm busy mode settings. So I wonder if he's even okay or not. I mean, I know that he was in the rehab, but that's I don't know when the last time I heard from him was. I think probably like a month ago or so. And he wasn't even really sure when he was supposed to be having his own place again. But here's one of the main things, even about when he told us that he was just kicked out from his own apartment before that happened, for no reason at all. Or at least what he told us. Like, he had his bills paid in time, and none of the neighbors never complained about him. He was never loud. He was never and his apartment was always clean. He had he get well along with the neighbors, and one day he was told that he's going to be evicted. That doesn't give any reasonable for a landlord, or if depends if there's having a landlord, or if it was owned by some sort of private company that he rented from. That, but it doesn't still doesn't even actually give the. I mean, sure, they had the right to evict anyone, but the reason that doesn't make sense. I mean, if you ask yourself, what would happen? Like, why would the landlord or the ones who actually owned the building and just suddenly evict Cody? Because for what grounds? For what reason? According to him, he was never have any complaints against him from the neighbors, and his apartment was always cleaned, and his bills was paid in time. So why would he has just suddenly kicked out? Was it because of his stomach problems that he had to be in a rehab? Which honestly I doubt. I mean, that would not be the cause of the reason for it to be evicted. I mean, the only things I can consider as if someone being evicted is because um, if you never clean the apartment, it smells like garbage, like or a city dump, like having rotten food everywhere in the apartment. Or if you were too loud, that you can be evicted from that, which has happened a lot over many times. I mean, I heard one story where one young couple actually got evicted after they were so loud every single night in the bedrooms. So that's one reason. But having Cody been so loud almost repeatedly, and that his neighbors complained to the landlord or the owner, which is a reasonable understanding if that happened. But since when he was happening in the streams, we can actually been hearing that he was talking to his neighbors, and none of those never said anything bad, because even in those interactions with the neighbors in the streams, there was no. I mean, if they hate,
I
if
mean,
they
you never
didn't
know. He
like,
could have been saying something to him when he wasn't in streams.
yeah, exactly. I mean, still, it doesn't really give any reason for having that just being just evicted, kicked out from his apartment for no reason. Like I mentioned, his apartment was always clean. The bills was paid in time, and if he was a well had no if he did get along with the neighbors, it doesn't give any reason for any explanation why suddenly he was evicted. Because it had to require some sort of things why. I mean, let's say if your home, you live in this world's trader convert home, right, Cypress?
Mhm.
Do you? And if someone actually, if your mom didn't own that house or the home, but it was someone else who actually owned it, and your mom rented the owner the place, and if and that could actually happen that the owner could kick your family out without, because if you never pay the bills in time, or if you never could, if the neighbors on both sides and even across the street could not be complaining that your dog was so loud, your uncle was screaming too much, and and that he could have been screaming at the neighbors to just shut up, but no, mind your own business type of scenarios. That could have been the explanation why suddenly your family would have been kicked out from the home. Same things could happen to Game Guy's family, or to at least one of his parents, because since his mom and dad live separate houses. But assuming it if it happened to one of his families or one of his parents, that one of the house wasn't owned by his dad or mom, but it's actually owned by someone else, that they were only paid rent for it. And if something happened, and that then the owner had been getting so many complaints, of the neighbors, and they had all rights, the all legal rights to kick them out without any much explanation. That happens. Even my family, for once. We live in a house that we rent. We don't own it. If we could have been kicked out for any reasons. In fact, we at the time, many years ago, we lived in one house that we did also rent it from an owner. But before we moved in, my parents asked the owners if they have any plans for the future to sell the houses. And they said no. But then, 10 to almost 11 months later, they got a notification from the parent for the owners that they were selling the houses. And even when we moved in, they told us they were not planning to sell the houses, but eventually they did. And how disrespectful is that? And especially if you were, and we were given at least a time to move out, but it wasn't even that simple. Because my family at the time, we were 5 people totaled. And having a family of 3 kids and had to find another place to live. And even if there was no, even if we live in a small town and at the house of the market is not even that big at the time, it's very difficult. And that's also disrespectful when they said they weren't supposed to be selling the houses after at all. No plans for it. But eventually they did. And that's very disrespectful to everyone. Think about it. But still, for Cody's case, it's weird. They were told he was not given any indication why he was kicked out. I'm surprised that even happened in the first place, considering how he, as a person he is, and frankly, to be telling, I wonder how his other family members how they react when they found out that he was going to be kicked out from his apartment, considering that he used to live in one other apartment before then, and that he moved to this new home sometimes before he was in the rehab. I was like, okay. His bills were paid in time. We had some people come over to make sure that he was okay every time, and he was always polite with the neighbors. And doesn't suddenly just being kicked out? For what reason? Probably no reason at all. They were just, oh, Matt, now we usually want to kick you out. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, and speaking of the crack ass, yeah, no, Swedish. Speaking of the crack ass genius himself, I got a notification from him telling me good morning earlier this morning.
Huh.
Yeah, he actually
Well,
made
at least-
contact with me.
Well, at least it's okay though. At the rehab, he get the help he needs, but still though, doesn't really give any explanations why suddenly he was evicted. I can understand if he's going to be that he was going to rehab, but his apartment will still be there for him to get back again. That I could understand, but being kicked out. Or is it possible that they kicked him out because they found out he was going to be rehab? Because they believe maybe that he was doing some hard drugs or something. Because when most people are assuming, when they heard rehab, now they're assuming to be the one when they're having drinking problems or drug problems. Because that is when everyone, if you've asked most people ask them, what are you assuming when someone mentioned the word rehab? You probably say like, oh yeah, they're because of a drinking problem or drug problem, which is the right consumption, because that is the right assumption to believe, because the word rehab is mostly used for that. But if the owners or the landlord found out that he is going to rehab, and he might have believed that he was doing some very such strong drugs like I don't know, cocaine or heroin or something, and that he was doing that in the apartment, and that he was going for rehab for that because he had some problems with it. That could have been okay if that was the case. That's understandable, but it was no mention. He never told the only drug he done is weed, but he doesn't even do that every single day. And but I don't know. It's I can understand for what reasons anyone would even want to do that in the first place. I mean, if there was just okay, my brother he lives with on one place, and if my sister she lived in one apartment, 3 room apartment with 5 kids. She sleeps in the living room since 2 of her kids are using her former room, 2 others are sharing one room, and another one is his own room. And that's understandable. But if she would have been evicted,
Fish.
Hmm?
When you're done,
Yep.
I have a small Legacy update to tell you guys.
Well, I mean, if my sister would have been evicted, where in the world will she even go? She has her boyfriend that he has his own apartment, but his apartment is a little bit smaller than his my sister's is. He has only like he has only like 3 bedrooms and 5 kids in a 3 bedrooms apartment, which she lives right now. But if there would have been 5 people, included with one another adult, it's that's not going to work unless she asks if we can take in one of the kids. But to be frankly, especially if we were to be asked to take in 2 or 3 kids to stay here permanently, well, temporarily for to seeing how to fix the problem, we only had one other guest room. And I just think if all my sister's kids was over here for just for the weekend, I tell you though, my parents they will be drained of the energy, especially from the older ones. They are so man demanding for all kinds of things. They can fight, and that drains a lot of my parents' energy. And it just doesn't work. And if they ask my brother for to stay there, that's a problem. They only have 1 bedroom. Another thing is the walls are thin, so the neighbors can hear been hearing every single things easily. And even if they did have one of the kids over to spend there, where are they supposed to live or spend to sleep? Well, easily the couch, because there are no any other extra bedrooms. In my place, well, since I don't have my own place, but if I did, that would also be another problem. If I live in a group home, I don't think I was even been allowed to have anyone to stay there for permanently or for long term. But if I have my own place, probably I could. Uh, Since they are going to one different school in a different town and transfer from one school to another, middle, especially in middle of the school year, it's can be complicated. Especially say goodbye to all your friends and make new friends. And suddenly, oh yeah, by the way, you had to move back from the new school back to your old one after your mom had fixed a new place. That's not a good thing for a child's psychic. Believe me, it isn't. But at least she hasn't even been kicked out from her apartment, which is a good thing so far. Uh, just, but trust me, 5 kids to take care of. Oh boy, that's can sometimes be a nightmare, especially if you have. Oh boy, what if they had 10 kids? Some like I'm gonna hang myself type of scenario. um, but yeah. So you want to say something, Cypress?
Yeah. I have a Dragon Seed update. I have 2 new dragons that are ready to be hatched. One is like a Patriot General type dragon. The other one, I bred this one completely by accident. It was a new one, and when I looked at the egg, I saw 2 wheels on it. And I thought, what earth? And I went to go clicking to see what it was for when I could finish hatching it. And guess what it turned out to be?
A cannon dragon?
A car dragon.
What? Seriously?
I am not
That's
kidding you.
that's oof. That I didn't expect because I expected maybe a dragon in a wheelchair or even as a cannon, but as a car. Yeah, that's
It looks just like a car. The wheels and exhaust pipe at the back. Even headlights for
Well.
eyes.
Kind of brilliant. I'm not gonna lie.
you know what else? I mean, what if we want a new dragon egg? Well, let's say it end up as a hero. Maybe I don't know, a Spider-Man like egg, or even there's a Hulk.
There's a, I have a Spider Knight dragon.
What if the dragon egg then turned out to be someone like similar to Batman or the Teenage Mutant Turtles?
I don't
Or even
know
as
about that. I mean, we have a bull
Or-
dragon.
nice. How about a Genie dragon?
We have those too.
Leprechaun dragon.
Same. We have that as well as a tornado dragon.
Phoenix dragon.
We have a royal phoenix dragon.
Unicorn
And a
dragon.
unicorn dragon.
Do you have a Mario dragon? Wait a second.
No.
Good. You finally said no to something.
TV dragon.
I'm
We
kidding.
have a happy. Well, we have a happy egg dragon that kind of has a smile similar to Bullet Bill from Mario.
Well, I was gonna say maybe you have a plumber dragon.
Mm.
How about a-
It breathes out plungers.
no.
That'd be kind of funny, actually.
I want you guys to see this.
There's no way there's an actual plumber dragon. If there is, I'm going to scream.
Well, first off, there's this one that I wanted to show that's ready to hatch.
Ah, yes. Captain Dragaria.
Looks like Captain. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool? A zombie dragon.
We have those.
Or a ghost dragon.
TV dragon.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there's actually a TV dragon.
I wonder.
But guys, here is the car dragon.
Wow.
That is somehow the greatest scene in the weirdest scene I've ever seen in my life.
Great and weird.
It's a great combination, honestly.
Mhm.
Ford. Excuse me.
Not owned. You're gonna have to get car insurance for it.
You need a license first.
A good thing, I don't have Geico yet.
Oh wait, you don't even have a license. No, you're even on your own
Yes,
bicycle.
I'm enjoying it. Let's see. Where are you again? Are you down here somewhere? No, you are not. Even though that's where my scrapper dragon is.
Ugh.
But yeah, look, Phoenix, a royal phoenix.
Can you see, even though they don't own a dragon yet, the corn dragon, but can you see what his evolved form looks like?
Swedish.
Yeah, I see it.
You said about a TV dragon.
Yep, I did.
I even have
But can you,
an el-
but can you see a dragon, even though they don't own them, but can you see how they will look like their animations look like, or if you can actually see how they look when they're getting older, when
adult?
they're leveling
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
I wonder how that corn dragon will look like as
Even
as a
one
full
dragon
grown.
probably as a car. I mean, I thought it would look like
Question
a
is,
Ferrari or a Mustang.
He said the TV dragon.
yeah, that audio.
Oh,
It's
I thought
named
you said
audio.
It'll probably become a flat
Um,
screen.
Ugh, Brainiac. That
Oh my
name
god,
that's
actually.
right.
I didn't know
That-
Dylan was in this. Nah,
The name, that name actually reminds me of Superman's homeworld's super computer named as Brainiac, or later turned out to be one of his biggest enemies. But at least one thing, Brainiac there is not a zombie. That looks like more as Kubo's new friend. Oh wait, his roommate.
Oh my god. I was tempted to name a dragon Kovu.
why is there a lion dragon you got?
I was
Oh.
tempted, but I decided against it.
I mean, if there isn't even a lion dragon, if he knew about it, oh boy, I don't tell you, he would be like quite ecstatic of that
Well-
one.
Well, I have a panther dragon and an elephant dragon.
Yeah, elephant dragon. I need to see him. I haven't seen it. It is the one who is almost like dark purple. Like it kind of reminds of a mammoth. Oh boy, you know that kind of reminds me a little bit. I don't know what they're actually called, but they were reminds me of another series that I also on TV I did see. What was the name of? That was about a princess, Princess Elena, from Baghdad, I believe. In that kingdom, they actually have flying jaguars could talk and have feathered wings, but it kind of reminds me of that one.
Sounds like a pretty good upgrade of Bagheera from Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm. How about okay? How about his friend Baloo as with wings? Oh, dude, that Bonzo. That actually reminds me of a Disney character. It looks like those. What is it? The black horned demon. If you know which one I mean.
The horned king from the Black Cauldron.
No, not him, but he appears in Fantasia. Disney Fantasia, or called.
Oh,
believe
you
he's
mean,
in-
you mean
I
Shomabong?
thought you
Or
were
whatever
going
his-
to say something.
The
Yeah.
demon in,
Yes, that one. That actually reminds me of him. He's black with yellow eyes and horns, and look at this giant demon. He's a Yeah, that's what I'm sure Bango, whatever what I call it. Unsure, no, whatever how to pronounce it. That one he reminds me of.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I know him. He's a unique looking fellow.
But another thing that he also reminds me of is Jafar when he is a genie. Unless you guys have even seen that movie.
Mm.
I've seen it.
I mean,
I mean,
have you guys even seen Jafar's Return?
Dear
No.
God, how long ago was that?
Well, that movie was actually not that bad, to be honest. It was actually a good sequel. But the third
yeah, it
one,
wasn't that bad. It was terrible.
the second was actually good, well, decent, well. But the third sequel of the about when he's a father return, yeah, that was a little bit over the board.
Holy cow!
Sanderson, the Jack O' Lantern Dragon. Wait, is it
I
sitting
don't know if
on
you
a
guys can see
pumpkin?
the animation because of how laggy it is. But watch
Who?
the pumpkin.
Who? Is it sitting on the actual dry pumpkin?
Oh my God! It's the headless
I have no
Dragonson.
idea. Mm. But there is one that I find quite interesting to see for sure, because it looks like some jungle spirit. And I'm not
Huh.
keeping it its name as it is here, but it's I'm still thinking of a name for this one.
Ooh, that actually reminds me of Arceus, kinda from Pokemon, or one of those other legendary ones.
I was gonna say he looks like a pretty good dragon forest spirit version of Gracian.
Hmm.
The grass type Pokemon that looks like Glacian, but or Leafian. That one.
Oh, you mean one of Eevee's evolution forms?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they even had, like I mentioned before, there. I'm surprised that they had even made more of the other remaining types of Eevee's evolutions. I mean, there's no rock type, no steel type, no ghost type, or something like that. And I'm surprised that they even had made any like a mega form of evolutions of Eevees, especially like Glaceons or Espeon or any of those. That would have been something, though. Wait.
Yeah.
Is that a white dragon in the corner there? Almost in the middle of the screen? It looks like a white feathered dragon.
This one?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's my Sakura dragon.
That reminds me of two things. One, it reminds me of those traditional Japanese Chinese dragon, and the second is that it actually reminds me a little bit of the dragon from Never-Ending Story. I was expecting that was some sort of albino dragon, but that's actually. Oh, there is one. There's a blue-white striped dragon. Kind of looks to me like a fish. Wait, is that a dragon, a pirate
looks like
ship
a
on its back?
clownfish.
Yeah, that one. That was actually. But is there a dragon with a pirate ship on its back? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's wow. Kind of.
Guess what? I think he spat something out.
It kind of reminds me of those hermit crabs. I mean,
There's a dolphin
It's,
dragon.
oh, dude, really? That is dolphin dragon?
No, but this is the one that looks like a clownfish.
Oh my god, we found Nemo.
Oh my god. Yeah, we found Nemo. Or Nemo. Huh. That's a dolphin dragon? Yeah, honestly, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't look like a dolphin type. It's a little
It's
more
so
like a.
happy. It was so happy. It was named Happy.
Well, that type of dragon actually reminded me of what's the name? Mosasaur, one of the type of dinosaurs. Titan or Saturn dragon. Okay, that's a name that fits perfectly.
Ah, there you are.
A space dragon named Polaris. Now that's a cool one.
Rip the robot. That poor robot didn't deserve any of that stuff. Friggin' dragon just destroyed it.
No, that is a badass dragon. That's for sure of
Did
it.
it eat it afterwards?
He's like,
I swear to God, that's what it looks like.
no. He disintegrates it with its tail.
But it looks like it eats it after he disintegrates it.
No, he doesn't. He puts the
Wait,
blue
let me see that.
stone
Let me
on.
see that. Let me see that animation again. I need to
Back.
make sure I didn't just see that. If it'll do it again anyway. Oh, there it goes. Okay, my computer was lagging, so I couldn't really see it. Oh, there it goes. Swear to God, it looks like it's just eating it, and I can't even tell because it keeps lagging.
Not eating it.
Yeah, swear to God. I don't know why it looks like that from on my end. It just looks like he's eating the hat. Or like the end, like the ash that it leaves, but I don't know. Maybe he's just scattering it. I don't know. It's lagging. It was lagging pretty good too, so I don't know. Maybe it was just that. And now you're in a volcano. And now you're not. Oh, look at that! It's a banshee dragon.
No, it's a ghost dragon. I
Oh,
only
it's a ghost
named it
dragon.
Banshee.
I thought for a second it was a banshee dragon that you named Ghost. Why did I misread that? What the hell? I must be more tired than I thought I was.
Probably.
Huh, Banshee dragon. I didn't know we found Malachi's wife.
Ghost. It was a ghost dragon, and I only named it Banshee.
Question: have you guys ever had nacho before?
Natural what?
Nachos.
Oh, nachos. Let's get the natural. Every now and again, I'll have nachos. They're more
What
of
about
a
you?
tea time snack.
What about you, though? Cypress.
If I had nachos?
Yep.
Oh yes.
I had never actually tried nachos.
They're good, although you're gonna need some nacho
Cheese.
stuff. Well, not just cheese, guacamole, some
Sour
spices
cream if
too.
you wish.
Exactly.
Or coleslaw.
Yuck.
Because I mentioned that to my girlfriend
Yeah.
yesterday, and she was like, "Oh my world." Yeah, but I'm actually going to try it when I can. And Doritos, I hadn't even tried either, but they're selling that in the convenience store where I live, not that far from here. So Armageddon Dragon, holy shit!
Type of dragon is up here.
Yeah, I mean,
The type of dragon is up
Dep-
here at the top.
Dep Dragon. Okay, what does it say VR store stands for?
Virtual.
That's
Some-
Dragon Rarity.
Ah,
Oh my god! Oh my god! Finally, we found the virtual reality dragon. That's how rare it is. You need to go to virtual reality to see it.
No, it's a very rare one. And
I
where
know,
the
I was
black
kidding.
pencil is its name. And where the black pencil is its name.
what is the most expensive dragon you can actually buy from the game?
It would probably be worth $100 of your money on this game.
I do hate how you have to use your own money to get the dragon. Why don't you use some sort of in-game currency like jewels or
There you are.
the gold or
I mean, this dragon here,
Okay, this is unexpected. Deanna's,
Rocco's Modern Life?
Deanna's here.
fish.
Hmm.
Fish.
Rocco, I have seen Penumbra Dragon.
No, but this dragon is 6,000 gems in the shop.
Wow. Oh, well, Deanna was here, but now she's gone since the devices was not connected. Great. Sorry about that, Deanna, but it happens. I think Malachite has
Lovely.
had a curse on the computer or
Will you
tablet when you're
stop
using.
putting me into it? And even this dragon is 6,000 gems.
That a VR goggles or glasses on it,
Yeah,
or
Looks
just
like
normal
it.
glasses of some form.
they're just racing goggles. But yeah, I said I had a unicorn dragon. I was not kidding.
Did you name it Lyra?
No, Star Moon.
No, because it
You
doesn't
should've,
have a
though.
green form. Well, here's the thing. That is actually one of its suits. Actually, this is what it looks like when you're regular adult.
Hmm.
Yeah, pancakes or goulash. Smish, what would you make of this dragon? If it shows up, thank you.
Ooh. Well, that's it. Kind of reminds me of you know, Amber or even Garble as a Dragon Lord.
Hmm.
But that's a cool one. Oh, Atlantean Dragon.
A Sinicus
Robot one.
in a Titan form.
Well, that's kind of
Hey,
cool.
look at Sinicus, look at your new armor. I even have a little about Ding Ding Nessie. Mm.
Error
Yeah.
404. That's not found. Reason being, she was too afraid
I
of the
think-
armor. Please
I
take
think
it off.
the next dragon summoned. I think the next. I think the next dragon I'm going to do for summoning hour is the Underworld Dragon. Nope.
You named it Hades, right? You have to.
No, there's
The-
a Hades dragon that I called Bewitched.
No, I mean you're gonna call the underworld dragon Hades because he's the king of the underworld. So I figured.
No.
Nah, no, it's just a thought.
And look at this beast. It kind of looks like he stands as the magical gate to the underworld. He only has 2 front legs and no back legs. It looks very terrifying. I mean, even those wings are wicked, incredible. Um, and this dragon I have summoned. But there's also 6,000 gems in the shop.
Cool. Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah. I have no idea what I'm going to name this cycle if I got him. I mean,
How about
I
Ivy?
have a multi-dimensional. How about what?
How about Ivy? Poison Ivy? Just a thought.
Not bad thought.
Well, just Ivy, not Poison Ivy, because then it would just, I don't know, not work.
Holy heck!
That dragon should probably see a doctor. Wait, yes, that doctor. I need help. My entire fucking body is glass. I don't know how it happened.
Mana is actually, I believe, that's life energy because that word reminds me of from Ben 10.
Hmm. Which one haven't shown Ones I have not collected yet. Aztec Priest Dragon, which I don't think I would want.
Well, I should probably end the stream here soon since I'm already 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Hmm. I know which one. I think I know which one Lord would want as a pet. Swedish.
Hmm? Oh, Cyclops Dragon. Okay, that's I was not expected.
Yeah, there's also this one.
Ho 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 ho. Now that's cool.
The only thing I like about that dragon, besides the red coloration, is its eyes. Hey, Kinga, your type of dragon.
Oh, it's a cyber dragon. Look at that.
It's gonna be any super millionaire after this.
Probably, but I am not showing you that dragon. I am not showing you that dragon. No, heck no. Because you could probably think of 100 different names for that dragon.
I didn't even see it, so there you go.
It's a turkey dragon.
A what now?
Just call it Kovo and we'll be good.
Turkey.
It's a turkey dragon.
Call it Kuvu Junior.
That's what I said. I said call it Kovo. Except I went for actual Kovo, not Kovo Jr.
If I had one, I'd probably name him Cypress Junior.
Where?
Wait,
Where
wait,
is
was
it?
that a
Where
bear?
is it?
Was that a bear?
Yes, you saw that was a bear dragon.
Wow. Void Dragon. Oh, oh shoot, that's a cool one.
Look at the eyes, though. There's 4 of them.
Oh boy.
I'm scared. I fear
You
its
can always-
awesome might.
You can always hug
I'm close.
Malan because he's
I'm close to
High
getting this
Guardian
dragon.
Courage Dragon.
I'm close to getting that
Oh,
by summon
What is
hour.
it? Let's discuss it by his power level. It's over 9,000! That was fucking Super Saiyan.
Swedish type of dragon.
A rune dragon.
yeah, that sounds about right.
There's so many great designs. That it's hard to choose which ones you wish you had for a pet. So many. Oh, what the heck? Holy hell!
Oh, no, that's
Unique.
wow. Yeah, that is.
I have never seen this dragon until now. You know what it actually reminds me of? When me, Robot Gamer, and Godzilla were doing a role play with our characters, I found a picture of a massive blue dragon standing on top of a mountain with thunder and lightning designing the background of a night sky. And this dragon kind of reminds me of that dragon a bit.
All right, that's something I can actually agree on.
There's a Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
Game, game guy, your thoughts? If he's still alive. Yeah,
I'm eating, you
that one is
palm tree
cool.
wannabe.
I
And yes, I saw it. It
think.
looked cool.
Oh, I found one. I found one that would be Kovu's Doom. That's three-ish.
Hmm?
I found the one that would be Kovu's Doom.
Hey,
Hey, Diana.
what's up, you guys?
No, nothing. I was just looking at some dragons from Dragon City.
Hey, game guy, you still having technical problems sometimes?
No,
No, he said, bye, Diana.
Do you still have technical problems sometimes, game guy?
What do you mean?
Just curious, because we are to have no fear. There's a high-tech dragon here.
Malachite, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Actually, I'm gonna let you in on the truth real quick. Don't trust that with me because somehow, someway, I just wrecked the technology in it. I'm just being honest with each other, with ourselves.
An iron scales dragon? What the heck? Oh, fudge.
All right.
Scary. Do you know what's the scariest one any one of us could ever have if we were to have any of these dragons in real life? You know which one I would not have, Swedish? For sure. This one.
Oh.
Yeah. Watch its mouth when it jumps up and looks at the sky.
Wow.
It screams out all that electricity. And plus, people might mistake it for a Chinese dragon.
Pretty much.
Now, this one I have yet to get.
Ooh, that's a cool one.
I'm going to name this one Goddess. Because this one looks like a goddess.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, the dragon is a little bit different than most of the other designs that I've seen so far.
This one I could see you having, Swedish.
Because guess what? Deanna got his
Wow.
my face. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the green fire being a part of this one?
Up, and now she can come back to do whatever it is she does. Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna set up here.
I mean, that one is actually cool.
I mean, I've already marked out my top 10 for a collection.
ACMI 0. That's not ACMI. I know it's not.
But you know which one I think we almost do for real, Swedish?
Hmm?
Fucking nowhere.
You know which one I think would be Kobo's Doom for real?
All right.
Because
I just gotta get into the thing with
this is just by complete coincidence, but you know how he's into, but and being completely honest with you, if he shows up, please show up, get out of the blue form, you.
No, that reminds me of Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Yep, this is Kobo's Doom.
I thought that other dragon was Kobo's Doom.
I was joking about that one.
So you're not joking about this one? This one's for real. That's his doom. This is what he fears that night. Every night when he has a
Yeah.
nightmare, that's what he thinks about. Why are Kobo's nightmares related to a dragon?
Well,
Mm.
would you prefer it be this one?
I'm not looking. Can you
If it
can you tell me what it
shows
looks like? I can't believe you're actually playing
up,
this.
it's
I know. I liked it last time I did, so I was like, oh, by the way, Roy's here. I'm so good at just coming out of nowhere.
Well, the twin brother bananas are there.
It's a space pirate. You gotta do it now. It has to happen. You gotta talk pirate. Arg.
what was that?
It's a space pirate dragon. Yarg, my name be Rockbeard.
Walk the
I come from-
asteroid.
I come from the planet Mars or something like that. I don't know.
Walk the asteroid.
Me, matey! I am a pirate! I don't know. I got to do it myself.
You sounded like a cat pirate.
I don't know. I thought it
Perhaps-
was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if Deanna's coming back or not, but I won't
yeah.
see. I think she'll be pleasantly surprised
Roy,
that you arrived.
Oh,
she?
a dragon in here that needs a doctor.
It needs a doctor. Would the doctor kind of be horrified to see a fucking dragon
yeah,
in his
this
office?
one apparently.
A mana potion. Oh yeah, it's the one you showed us before.
Roy
It's
looks-
basically a dragon that looks like a giant square potion. Our potion's supposed to look like circles or something like that. That's how you usually draw them.
well, potion balls could be any shape.
They can even be a
Although I think-
triangle. Can they be flat like the Earth isn't? No.
Now this one I can see Game Guy having in his collection.
What collection? He doesn't play this game.
I mean, if he was to pick a top 10
the
out
collection
there,
of
I could see
dragons
this
I like,
one.
apparently. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a multi-dimensional dragon. Call it a Dimension and it will be good. That does not look like the Dimension. Ah, they'll put on the hat, get the mask on, make it a little more black, and you got the Dimension. Is that what you really think of me? I will snap
There's even
you
a
at
bar-
it.
There's even a
God.
barbarian dragon.
Is it named Dave? Oh, I remember that show.
No.
Oh, yikes. That's been a while.
I've never heard of that show.
It's literally called Dave the Barbarian. It is basically about a barbarian that protects his sister, who is a princess, and one that's a chimp, because, of course, fantasy. Isn't it just great? I mean, right now you're
Yeah,
playing
but
as an
use your
Italian
mind
plumber
instead
inside of.
of your.
I mean, right now you're literally playing as an Italian plumber inside of literal hell with nothing but overalls, and you're not catching fire. So there you go. You're not doing too bad though.
Swedish.
Hmm?
It's the eye of chaos. Thank you, Roy.
No comment.
I looked over for like 1 second.
Kovu's new pet.
Oh
And
god,
if
let's
Kovu
not have
wasn't by
COVID see this
that,
one.
then goodbye Earth.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move over to Saturn.
Agreed.
Why Saturn? You wouldn't think of looking there. Well, we can't go to Uranus. He's already an anus. Well, okay. Someone will come on the wrong side of the bed. I don't think you're standing there on top of the death zone. Don't worry about it. I'm dead, but I'm not actually dead. Mario's the best.
Wow.
Wasn't expecting that. Okay, thanks, Roy. You can go back home now. What do you mean go back home? I am home.
You need
Go back
help, you
home anyway.
You need help. You need help, you popsicle.
I'm not a popsicle.
Hey Swedish, would you take this dragon if you had the choice?
I couldn't fit inside the freezer.
Oh,
It's the Bone Keeper dragon. I can't get over what you just said. I wasn't expecting that.
you know where else this happens? That bone keeper dragon, it actually can keep the boners all the time.
Boulders, why? Beats me.
Bone keeper can keep the boner.
Oh, I thought you said boulder. To be fair, I heard boulder too.
Holy shit!
Wow, it's a person that guards the Arctic. Dragon, whatever.
Wow.
Now this one is a beauty of a
You do it.
masterpiece. Look at those
Okay,
teeth.
fair
It
enough.
looks like ice.
My God, it really does. It looks like fucking icicles.
More like an Arctic
Yeah.
version of Nessie. Arctic version of Nessie.
It's Nessie from the future. Oh, what the heck happened there? The screen turned like really dark for a second. Oh, that's a little weird.
God.
Well,
So
I
much
should probably
fun.
end here after it has been 2.5 hours already.
Oh yeah, look at that. I didn't even notice that.
Well, are we still gonna play Super Millionaire? I mean, if it's even possible.
Sure, right,
Well, you
sure,
can't.
right, why not? And
Well, he
game guy,
can't
before I
share
forget,
two things at once.
here's
But
the happy egg. Well, here's the happy egg dragon I was telling you about that had the teeth.
oh god, it's a little scary, isn't it?
Yeah, look at the teeth. Does it remind you of Bullet Bill?
Bonsai
That,
Bill.
that reminds me of piranhas.
Oh yeah, it does kind of look like a prawn, doesn't it? Take a quick look. Oh yeah, look at
Piranha.
that. It's a little weird. Did you just fall off the mountain?
Oh, Swedish. I
wasn't looking.
Swedish.
Hmm?
Before you end, I have something to tell you.
What?
Recently, a few days ago, I hatched a pre-wings dragon, which looks like an Arctic T-Rex, but with short wings. And I hatched a King Kong dragon.
Hmm.
Did you,
That's cool.
did you
It
hatch?
literally looks like King Kong the gorilla.
Did you hatch a Godzilla dragon too? Oh my god,
No,
that's
you don't.
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, look at him. That does look like King Kong in a short form.
It's Baby Con. Prince Con.
Baby Joe. Or Baby
Prince
Joe.
Con.
Or Baby Roy Jr.
Roy?
What?
Yeah, no.
I ain't the father of that shit.
Are you sure?
I think I would have remembered fucking the gorilla. But there you go. Yikes!
Roy, there is
Hey
no.
man, I didn't get much sleep last
Roy,
night. Had Roy's join the building.
Roy, there is no Godzilla
What?
dragon, but with this one villain for him. I mean, look what it's called.
I don't know. His jaw looks like one of those things that you. It looks like a stapler. Wait, what?
He's a
It does kind of look like
gargantuan
a
dragon.
stapler, actually. Actually, it looks more like a pelican jaw, if anything.
Is there a Dracula dragon, by the way, or a vampire?
No, there's a vampire dragon.
Wait, is there an invisible dragon? A dragon that's just completely
No.
invisible, you can't even see it? That would be kind of funny,
No.
though.
Funny but
It's just-
weird. How do you
It's
explain
just like, it's there, trust us! We didn't scam you out of your money,
Ooh.
maybe. High Gate. Feels like it should be Hellgate, considering the background, but...
No. I was looking
Oh my
at
god,
on
keep
stories-
that to the reef for the rest of the dragons. It might suck their blood.
I know which dragon Roy would like. And yes, I'm being funny too.
Are you being funny? Oh my god, stop showing me the bee dragon! My god.
Buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz.
Did you really just call it Buzz Buzz? You could have come up with something better than that.
Buzz.
Well, I had it
Roy's
called
best
Roy
friend.
since you keep saying B.
Yeah,
Well, I had
I still
it
feel like you
named
can come up with
Roy,
something
so-
better than that. That's right. If you're gonna make fun of me, I'm gonna make fun of your terrible naming skills.
Mm.
Because he could name him Zap, Buzzap, Burzap,
Or Bugzapper.
Or Buzzcomb.
I'll be the
Or
exterminator.
Zap Zap. Or Zap Zap.
No.
How about
Ding Dong.
No.
Ding Dong.
Alright,
Who's
who's
it?
at the
Now you
door?
have to see what
Bee,
name
the
for
best
this
buzz.
big fella.
what the hell is decided? There we go.
Electric Night Dragon.
And his name is
Hmm.
Miguel.
Now this one I could probably call Zap.
How about Zeus? He's probably come up with Zeus. The Zapper. How about? Is that one of the names of my armors? I don't care. You can use one of the armor names. What does it matter?
Hey Roy,
Fair enough.
if you were in a battle, like a dragon battle, and you can only bring one dragon to fight, all the competitors had to bring one dragon to fight, and you had a choice to bring one. Would you take this one for battle?
Well, no, but I'd probably bring one that can travel, that has the ability to go back and forward in time, so I can never lose.
Well, there's a time travel dragon.
Is there?
Yep, here he is.
Time travel dragon, who's apparently its name is Dan.
I was thinking of. I was going to name him DeLorean for the back of the featured DeLorean car.
Really? You're not gonna call it TARDIS or
Holy cow!
like Timekeeper or Timebreaker or something like that?
You guys.
I've got a lot of time travel names.
Doc Brown.
The heck? I just long jumped in and I bumped into an invisible wall. There was a box in front of the cannon. Can I still shoot out of that? I don't know. The randomizer's never done that before. Well, I'm gonna be the first.
He
one to
literally
find out.
turns into a clock.
Does he actually?
Yeah, if you watch the animation closely.
Oh my gosh, it's a clock. That's awesome. Roy, you better get that dragon before you're out of time.
No, I am not naming this dragon Dick Clock.
What the fuck? Where the hell did that come from?
Completely random thought.
Weird.
I thought for a second you were gonna say it because I was saying
Well, at
something.
least
But I was only
Kyle's
talking
still
to
doing
Roy.
good in this game.
Well,
Oh.
time for it to end here. Sorry, you guys.
All right.
Aren't you gonna say goodbye as your dragon, Kyle?
Bye, dragon. Even though I don't remember having you, and don't remember adopting you, and don't remember ever meeting you before.
Don't be a smart ass.
I'm just being honest.
This dragon you got me to hatch and do summit hour for.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And that's why I named it after you.
Sweet.
Wrong button.
What do you mean wrong button? Didn't you want to do that or something? I don't know.
I accidentally hit my cam button instead of stopping the screen.
Well, everyone, has been fun as always.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see you until next time. Bye.
See ya.
And goodbye.